Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Whoa. We got a pretty exciting one here today. I know Rick Beato's not here. I know, don't click off. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about our practice, shall we? And this is a practice log, by the way. Let me go ahead and explain to you what a practice log is. First, it starts with the small talk. That's this segment here that's going to go on for like 2 or 3 minutes or so, if you're lucky. Especially this time, because I have some stuff that I want to talk about, but you'll see. Then after that, we're going to answer some comment questions, like the comments that you might be leaving. I might address something that you actually said to me. Won't that be exciting? And then I'm gonna play something for you. And today is actually kind of a sad day for the practice log because I'm gonna play the Morel Sonatina, Movement 1. Now you might be shocked, Cameron, in this economy you're gonna get your video demonetized with music that isn't public domain. It's just one video. It's gonna be okay, and I don't expect a lot of clicks on this one anyways, so it's not gonna break the bank. But I just really want to share the Morel Sonatina right now because I feel like it's reaching new heights where it's like really getting solid, and I also want to see where the discrepancies are. But I think overall it's sounding really good. So it's worth it. It's worth one video getting demonetized. It's fine. Yeah, some new things with me. I changed my string material. I feel like I'm always referring to the classical guitar as the nylon strings, y'all. But these days, with all the different materials that we have, it's sort of an anachronism calling it the nylon string. It's kind of the same as calling the graphite and the lead pencil lead instead of graphite. And speaking of the element that makes up graphite, I'm using carbon strings. And I feel like they sound really good. I've only had them on for a day. I think they sound really nice though. I've heard that they also help with intonation, and that guitar's intonation is a little bit wacky just because it's probably never been set up since it was made over 10 years ago. And it seems to help a bit. Like, I noticed the G string with nylon, it gets out of tune, like even when you tune it perfectly, so I had to tune it a little bit flat. I don't have to do that so much with the carbon strings now. God, I hate that I'm showing this freaking name because they didn't send me this. Yeah, I bought these strings with my own money. It says carbon trebles and Dynacore basses, whatever that means. Dynacore. So, don't be influenced to buy these from me. But I think they sound pretty good. But yeah, that's what's new with my guitar journey progress. Pretty cool, right? Okay, I think we can wrap up the small talk there. So this is going to be like kind of a short one. It's a Sunday for me. I've been up since 6 a.m. It's now 10 a.m. Maybe more like 6:30 actually. And I've put in 3 hours of guitar practice. Yes, 3 real hours. I've just been practicing for 3 hours straight. And I'm not even done. If I can pull a 6-hour day today, I'd be pretty happy with that. Mainly worked on Sonata Giacosa by Rodrigo. But also worked on 997 and all that stuff. You know the deal. Alright, let's get into some comment questions. Let's talk a little bit. Small talk's over. Small talk is flippin' over, y'all. This is an interesting question right here. And this is a reality that a lot of us have to face. This is from Jeffrey Larimore, 1999. Whoa, dude. Full name and birthday just out in the open. You're a braver man than I. Friend of the channel, you said, hey, I love watching your videos. Dude, let's freaking go. Heck yeah, dude. I've been learning guitar. Same, albeit mostly through YouTube, textbooks, and a little bit through sheet music and jazz charts. For a little over a year as an adult. I'm 23 right now. At 23, are you even an adult, really? You're still a kid. As I get older, that's just how I feel. I'm 27 now. I'll be turning 28 in I guess like half a year or whatever. Don't try to guess my birthday based on that. But yeah, 23 is young. Imagine how good you'll be when you're 33. It's been fun trying to figure out how to be an effective player and practice well. That's nice that it's still fun to try to figure that stuff out. It's just frustrating now. It's just like, why can't I do this? But I've never really had much of a musical background. Do you think it's obtainable for people starting their musical journey later to catch up to the proficiency of longtime players, or do you think it's generally harder to hear, play, and understand music when you weren't taught how to at a young age? What a question that is. And this is the question that's going to either sell me a bunch of guitar lessons or discourage all the adult learners. I'm not even giving guitar lessons, by the way, so I'm going to speak real freely. I think that when you play guitar starting as a kid, you have a massive advantage on any adult learner. And why is that? Well, first, there's the obvious stuff like the neuroplasticity. And with that, if a kid was going to get good at guitar, he's going to just excel as a child because their brains are just set up to soak stuff up at that age. Another thing, too, that I feel like is less talked about, kids just have way more time than adults. Me, as an adult, to practice for 4 to 6 hours a day, which is like, that's like a good day too. That's not every day that happens. I had to set up my entire life around guitar. And that's something that I've only been able to achieve like kind of recently. Even when I was working full time as a guitar teacher, I barely had any rep because I barely had any time to practice anything when I was working a 30 to 40 hour a week teaching schedule. Now, as a grad student where my full-time job is just making YouTube videos, which still takes like 30 hours a week or so, but I can kind of dial it back sometimes, like when I need to practice more. And I've been doing that. You might notice the videos are like more and more sparse. It's because I'm practicing. I want to get better at guitar. But only in the last like year or two have I really been able to actually focus on guitar, because I've just been able to set my life up around practicing guitar. When you're a kid, that happens automatically. Like, I would practice like for hours a day without even having to do anything to set up my life. Like, I just had nothing else to do. So that's a huge advantage. A kid's always going to have more time than you. Now, it seems pretty discouraging with the whole neuroplasticity thing, because you don't have that. Like, maybe you do a little bit as a 23-year-old, but you certainly don't have it like a kid has it, right? But I think that we often underestimate how long it takes to actually get good at guitar. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. Takes 12 years.
The classical player must devote at least 12 solid years to patient study.
It does. It takes about 12 years, I would say. Like 12 years of real, diligent, dedicated practice. And you've been practicing for one of them. And honestly, the kind of practice that it sounds like you've been doing where you're mostly using YouTube, specifically not having a teacher, we could kind of count that first year as like 6 months, honestly. But to sort of answer your question, just before I keep going, yeah, obviously you're at a disadvantage, but you can still get like really, really good at guitar if you put 12 years into it. Like, I know that we're not kids anymore, but we can still learn stuff. Like, that's kind of the beauty of classical guitar. There's always this next step in learning. Like, you never actually stop. And even, I mean, like, literally learning more music, like more notes. Like David Russell, he's like in his 70s probably. He's an old man. He's still reading sheet music and like learning new music. And his brain has to learn new stuff. Which that might seem like obvious. Like, of course you keep learning when you're pursuing something like this. But let me paint a picture for you. Back when I started playing guitar, when I was like a rock guitarist taking lessons from a music store, in the first 5 years I gained a lot of technique, like scales and stuff. But I kind of found myself just getting stagnant with my technique, and I didn't really feel like I was learning anything. And sometimes I would feel like resistant to learning things, where it's like, oh, if there's a scale I don't know, just like, I'm already so good at the scales I have, like I'm just gonna keep practicing these, whatever. That was like a real mental block I had as a teenager. Like, I just wanted to play the stuff that I already knew, and I would just play it over and over, and I wouldn't really get any better at it. What's nice about a genre like classical, or even I'm sure other genres like jazz, or even anything that's not academic, like a genre where you are learning tunes and learning a style, is that there's always like the next step. So I think the fact that you're picking a style is good. It could be any style. Like, I hate to say this, but you could even pick like bluegrass or something. There's a set list of tunes and there are like licks to learn, and there's always a new thing to learn. So establishing the style that you want to pursue is important. Yeah, and then beyond that, I would really recommend getting a classical teacher. And I know it's expensive, especially if you're doing like weekly lessons, but if you can find somebody like that has credentials in the genre you want to learn, that is going to be immensely helpful. And you can get at a really high level of guitar playing, even starting as an adult. It's just going to take a really long time. And now, even as I'm saying that, I can imagine people disagreeing with me, because of course there's so many people that try things for like months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. 2 years, that's such a long time to try something, right? But again, like, we're talking 10 to 12 to like the rest of your life amount of years to play this thing, you know? Like, you see where I'm at after 8 years of playing. And I started kind of as an adult, like as a 19-year-old. I did start playing electric guitar when I was 11, but, you know, you get the point. Like, my right hand didn't start actually developing until I was 19. And I feel like my right hand can hold its own pretty well at this point. So yes, you can get really good. You're never going to be a child virtuoso, though. You're not going to be one of those kids. But honestly, do you really want to be one of those kids? Like, you now have your adult brain, and you're going to watch yourself go through this entire process, and it's going to be so well documented in your mind. By the time 10 years passes and you've been practicing diligently the whole time, you're gonna have so much knowledge to share, and it's like stuff that you remember clearly because you did it as an adult. It'll just be a very enriching process. And again, I'm saying that with nothing to gain, because I'm not trying to get adult students or anything like that. Now, something that you might find even at the end of this 12-year journey, like you're just unable to do some things that like it seems like prodigies can do. Any like fast technical thing, that's not really important. You don't need that to make nice music, so don't worry about that so much. But once again, I highly recommend getting a teacher. It's worth the money. It's all part of your education. And I put my money where my mouth is, by the way, because I'm paying tuition right now. And it's expensive, but I'm paying it because it's worth it, and it's a write-off, which you could probably write off your guitar lessons too if you, you know, I don't know. This isn't financial advice. Don't do what I say, but, you know, it's... There has to be some rule for that, right? Yeah, I feel like I could have answered that question more in depth, so if anybody wants more from me for that one, just leave a comment about it, and I'll get to it eventually. Okay, here we go. So this one is from Nightly93. We're all very interested in learning today, huh? Hey, Cameron, can you help me out, please? Yeah, no problem, man. I'm looking for the book that you used to learn theory. I think it was White and Orange. I saw you mention it in one of your videos, but I watched dozens. Dude, that's awesome. Watch hundreds next time. I cannot find it anymore. Thanks a lot. Yeah, let me go and get it for you. Hold on. I believe this is what you're looking for. This is Concise Introduction to Tonal Harmony right here. I picked this book because it's the book they used in my undergrad and I had no choice. But if it makes you feel better, any music theory textbook for an undergraduate program is going to be basically all the same. It's going to start with like standard notation stuff, just telling you what dots and lines are and what they mean. And it's going to end with like crazy chromatic harmony, like Neapolitan 6 and all the augmented 6 chords. And again, all those books are pretty much the same. At least I've found. I've only looked at a couple of them, but they all like generally cover the same topics. Now, the idea of learning music theory from just a textbook is just not really that realistic. It depends on how obsessed you are with music. I know at least one person that has like this anecdote about how they took a music theory class in high school and they took the book home and they basically obsessed over it for like the whole year and learned how to play all of the stuff on keyboard and then just became fluent in like everything in the book. That's not me though. That's probably not you either. What really made it easy to learn all this stuff was first breaking it up over 4 semesters over 2 years, and also taking a class to be taught and to be tested and to like stress out over deadlines over the information in this book. The idea of learning just from the textbook is a little unrealistic, I think, unless you're just freaking crazy, but I'll tell you exactly how that's gonna go. We can all be obsessed with something for a week. I've been obsessed with things for a week before. It's easy. Nobody has to be on you. You are studying for 4 hours a day or however long you want to study. And then the week goes by, and then it's 2 weeks, and then you look back on it and it's like, wow, I just don't have any fun in my life, huh? And you get kind of sad and you get sick of studying, and then you give up and then you abandon it forever. If you want to learn music theory, I would recommend finding a teacher, which that person I mentioned, by the way, is actually taking students. And I've given him students before from this channel for people who specifically want to learn theory, because he's like the theory whiz. I don't know anything compared to him. We've worked out a deal where if I give him any more students, he's going to start giving me some money, like a one-time lump sum, like finder's fee kind of. So if you want to learn theory, you can contact me and ask for the theory guy. Don't ask for lessons from me. I'm not giving them right now. So for learning that stuff, like I had to take classes to learn it, and I maybe recommend doing that. I think you could just do a private tutor. That would give you a few benefits for theory. One of them is that you can read the theory textbook all you want, but there's a lot of stuff that you actually have to sort of understand and maybe do a little math for. Part of this is getting comfortable with voice leading and like doing like SATB realizations and like doing it with nice counterpoint and voice leading and that kind of stuff. Like you can learn the rules, you can do the examples, but then it's like, was this right? I don't even know. Like who's going to check your work? Even where I am now, if I wanted to get really good at voice leading, I would go to the theory faculty at the school I go to now and like give them my homework and be like, what's wrong with it? It's just really hard to do that on your own. It's possible, I'm sure, but like it would take so long, and it's worth the money to just expedite that. Yeah, so once again, sorry, the advice is just find a freaking teacher. That's all I got for you. And again, I'm not just saying that. I put my money where my mouth is. I that's what I do. And you've seen my progress from the very beginning, okay? You know what, let's end it here with the answering questions, because this video is going to get demonetized. I might as well not spend that much time editing it and stuff. Papa's gotta get paid and whatnot. Just not today. God, I'm so salty about it. You can tell. It's like, why are you even doing this then? Because it's important to share the Morel Sonatina with you. And I also kind of want to show off a little bit, so you know the deal. Which I say that, I also just want to see where it's at too. So, without further ado, this is the Morel Sonatina Movement 1. Check this out. actually recorded that a couple of times because, you know, I'm not going to play it again for a while. I might as well try to get a good take. So hopefully one of those is good. There's some spots in there that I really need to look back on because a lot of that's feeling secure. And if I can just work out that last little bit, that's a solid Sonatina first movement right there, I gotta say. I'll maybe go into exactly what parts I think I need to work on later. I don't think it's that important to talk about now. You all saw, though. But all in all, I think that one's coming along pretty well. I'm glad that I spent the last 2 years trying to play that. Alright, well, let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. I'm going to film some more highly sensational reaction videos coming up now. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and edit this one, crank it out. If you're seeing this the day of, it's Sunday for me, too. Hey, guys, happy Sunday. Hope you're practicing guitar. Hope you've practiced for a few hours before this video comes out. If not, you should probably get on that. Alright, well, we will talk more later. So, for now, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Hey, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Of course, Rootin's Delight, there's a sale going on, 15% off for October of 2025, so go ahead and check that out. Go look at some other videos or something. And, yeah. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next one.